I've got me some daddy issues, yeah. Hola, you amazing artist. Some of us have loving families that support us in our dreams and help us move forward through our crazy endeavors in life. This video is not for you.
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
As you know from my last video, I was recently working on an art chair for the very first time. This was a big deal for me because there is a certain finesse that needs to take place when you're doing furniture and turning it into a piece of art, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off. Now you might think that something as common as a chair, all you got to do is like throw some patterns and some paint on it, but it's kind of like working on an abstract work of art. It's something that could go really, really wrong unless you follow your gut. I went through the typical creative process of feeling like it looked like an epic failure up until the point where it finally didn't look like an epic failure, and I was pretty proud of it.
You lost your chair virginity.
So there it was after the event. I created my first art chair, pushed through the boundaries of what I thought was possible for me, and validated my own status as an artist. And I know what you're thinking, yeah, but Rafi, you're already a full-time artist. Because us creators are strange creatures riddled with insecurities and so many different facets to insecurities, I can guarantee you this. As an artist, you are going to be dealing with things probably for the rest of your life. Well, anyhow, that's about the time that my father comes into the picture. With the excitement of this newfound accomplishment fresh in my mind, I told him about the chair and asked him if he wanted to go see it. Then I basically just kind of pushed him in that direction. Come and see the chair! Come and see the chair! He stood there and stared at it for a while and didn't really say anything. At that point, I felt like I needed to bolster up the chair, so I decided to talk to him in his terms, which is mostly about money. Yeah, Dad, people were like raffling up to $100 for this chair. He paused, scrunched up his face, and then said, "Someone paid $100 for that shit?"
Pops.
Oh, Dad.
He means well.
I know. Typically what would happen in my pattern of my relationship with my dad is that I would show him something, he would criticize it, I go into over-justifying why this thing is so awesome that I'm showing him. He scoffs at my justification, I feel misunderstood, he laughs and he makes a joke, and then I get mad and I walk away and go hide underneath a rock somewhere and lick my wounds. Luckily, I am aware of this pattern, so this time, instead of reacting in that way, I reacted differently. Put my hand on his shoulder and smiled at him and said, "It's okay, Dad. I know you don't get it. You don't need to get it. I don't need you to like it. That's fine." Now, I'd be lying if I said that it was easy for me to get to that point where I'm at right now, because really it wasn't. It was a bit of work for me to get there. I blamed my father for a very long time for the fact that I did not pursue my dreams. We would literally get into knockdown, drag-out fights about what I was supposed to do with my life. He wanted me to be a jeweler and be in the family business, and I wanted to be an artist. You think you're gonna make money with your stupid little pictures and your stupid little art? You gotta sit here and work at the jewelry bench and be a jeweler and work at the business?
Little did he know he would inherit a child that would sit at the bench
Yeah.
and work at the business.
This is the jeweler back there, Dad. Which is why he comes in and you could be doing a freaking macaroni collage and Dad's like, "Oh, that's beautiful." Yeah, you old man. Years later, when I was in my 20s, I somehow got into an art show that was being held at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago, and it was sponsored by Starbucks and Smirnoff. Considering that I had never publicly shown my art because I was way too chicken, and the only reason that I got into the competition was because a friend of mine submitted my work, yeah, big deal. And I was terrified. Well, the night of the opening, everybody that is a who's who in art in Chicago was at this show, and also my dad. He was like a fish out of water, and which, you know, I was like a fish out of water. I basically tried to hide in plain sight by like standing still. Maybe they don't see me. So there I am, trying to avoid making eye contact with anybody, and my dad smacks one of my paintings that's on the wall. Let me repeat that. Museum of Contemporary Art. Posh event. All the art who's are there. Sponsored by Starbucks and Smirnoff. And my father repeatedly smacks one of my paintings and blurts out loud enough for everybody to hear, "Ah ha ha ha, this one looks like throw up." I don't remember much after that. The night just kind of blurred into this whole thing of me wanting to get as far away from the event as possible. At one point, curators and art gallery owners came up to my pieces and they were telling me how much they loved my work, but I was so detached that I just wasn't hearing anything that they were saying.
Kind of like the ringing that happens in your ears after an explosion. Everything just sort of goes blurry and weird.
That's what it was. It was the explosion of my dad. I felt like he had ruined my life and led me to a life of mediocrity where I would just be miserable for the rest of my days. Or so I thought. I spent 12 years working in the corporate world because I didn't want to venture into art and I wanted to do something safe. I blame my dad for doing that. I was not happy in the corporate world, but that's what I did. As it turns out, it wasn't my dad's fault. Sure, he wasn't supportive. He's not my biggest cheerleader. He doesn't encourage me. In fact, he was one of my biggest critics. And to be honest with you, he's still one of my biggest critics. He hasn't changed one bit, but I have. And that's the reason that I have an art career. You're going to get criticized by all kinds of people, and they're going to be people in your family, they're going to be some of your friends, they might be your spouse, they might be your kids. They're going to criticize you and put you down. But you can't let other people's criticism in any way, shape, or form hinder you from doing what it is that you want to do with your life. It wasn't my dad that was controlling me. It was my need for validation, my need to have him approve of what it was that I was doing. What I didn't understand back then, and what took me quite some time to understand, is that other people's opinions of you don't matter. They just don't matter. The only thing that matters is how much do you actually want it? Are you willing to do it even if people tell you that you're being stupid for wanting to do this thing? Will you get up and dust yourself off the moment that you fall on your face? Because you will fall on your face a few times. I doubt if my dad will ever be as excited as I am about my art and my art career. He doesn't get it. He probably never will. And, I'm fine with that.
Unless you paint horses or naked women, he's pretty into that.
Yeah, the moment that I paint a naked woman or a horse, he's like, "Oh, that's good." My advice to any young artists that are struggling with a similar situation: don't buy into the excuses and the discouragement that you are going to try to give yourself based on what other people are saying. The moment that I stopped trying to get validation, approval, all that stuff, and realized that nobody knows what it is that I want in my life, I'm the only one that could really go out and try and get it the way that I would go out and try and get it. I was able to develop a better relationship with my doofy dad and even kind of look forward to some of the weird comments that he gives me when he's looking at my art.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting to anticipate what he might say.
I know, there are some pieces that I look at, I'm like, oh, I wonder what my dad's gonna say when he sees this one. Sometimes people are just putting you down, and sometimes they actually think that they're trying to help you. The fact is that you have greatness within you, and sometimes other people are blinded to it. Even parents. Don't allow yourself to get blinded to it. Don't give up. Keep creating and keep moving forward. That's all you have to do. Yeah, because the alternative is you just wallow in your misery and don't do what it is that you want to do because you're all sad and nobody understands you and blah, 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 blah. The same crap that I did for years.
You're still going to hear criticism if you're not doing anything. Then they're going to be like, "Rafi, you don't seem happy. Why aren't you pursuing something you love?"
Oh God, I used to hear that all the time too. Pursue something that you love, don't pursue that thing. Pursue something that you love, don't pursue that thing.
Why don't you just pursue something that you kind of love that's moderately safe and stable at the same time?
Just maddening. It's maddening, but they have no idea. Don't listen to them. They don't know. And that's it, guys. I hope that you found this video helpful. Also, if you have any techniques or stories that you want to share, just go ahead and put them in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. I totally adore you. And if you like this video and you want to watch more like this, just click over here to subscribe. And to watch our last video, you click right over here. Say goodbye, Klee.
Good day.
Adios!